I love the idea of freezing this moment in time. The idea or the person or the object or the landscape is kind of frozen in time for me to review it at a later date. And I love that idea that, you know, the world squeezed into this bit of paper through a bit of film. So there is a conceptual idea there that I love, and I got control over it. At the beginning, I didn't have much control because I didn't know what, you know, how the camera really worked until I started at Prahran. The fact that you're in a room with 10 other people, 15 other people, there's got to be you wouldn't be a human being if you didn't have some sort of sense of competition, because the way I looked at it, I was really interested in what others had done and what I'd done, referencing if what I'd done was as good or worse than what everyone else had done. And critical thinking, because then you start to think, oh, gee, that, you know, I've really stuffed up here because I haven't worried about an idea. Whereas you start to see 2 or 3 people that are really zoned in on an idea, any of the branches of art, you've got to put a lot of yourself and your creativity into it. And that makes it, of course, really interesting for me as a human being. In those days, in the late 60s, early 70s, there seemed to be a lot of competitions. People were trying to get students to do things almost for free for them. And I thought, okay, well, they might be exploiting me, but it's a different kind of challenge to do something for a client. I won about 3 design competition, in which mostly I used photography. I won a $1,000 prize in 1970. That was a lot of money. I did a logo for the Sugar Mark. It was an international competition. And I won the Australian section out of both professional and students. $1,000 and a flight to Sydney. And when I went to Sydney, I took my folio with me and got a job in Sydney. The people that were teaching me, in design anyway, were a bit worried that I hadn't done any of set work. It was the same with the photography department. The photography department had a whole lot of set work and you had to do some of it. If it was really boring, I would avoid it, but still do work and present that. I remember Paul Cox praising me for a cube, you know, and hung it from the ceiling. And so the thing spun around, you know, like a lot of the things that spun around. And he thought that was pretty good, just the way I'd presented on this cube. So the freedom was there if you wanted to, but you had to navigate all the, you know, make sure that they realised that you were still working. I think what they were worried about is people not turning up and not doing any work. But if you were doing work, it didn't matter whether it was set work or not, no problems.